I read a total of 10 books last month, DNF 2, and I want to tell you guys about them.
No more can be traded. My heart's a bit spaded. I'm not too prideful to up and leave. You've been all complacent. The tides have been changing. Love is just patience, and for you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kiana Lachey. If you're new here, I greatly appreciate if you take 1 second and go down below and hit that subscribe button and that bell right next to it so you can be notified of all my future videos. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys the 10 books I read in the month of July. Y'all, I feel like I had a pretty good month in July. 10 books. I usually, for some reason, read like 6 or 7 books a month now. For like, I don't know, I can't focus as much as I used to, but if you read 1 book a month, that's fine. That's totally fine. Like, you took time out to read, which stimulates your brain, so that is good. But I read 10 books, like I said, and I can finally say that I finally read Hook by Emily McIntyre, y'all. I finally read this book. It was so good. I see the hype behind it. I finished this book and immediately went to the store and picked up the second book to the series, which is Scarred. I think it's a retelling of Lion King, and this one, I don't know. Is it Peter Pan? No. I don't know. What is this? I don't know what this one's a retelling of. I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. I'm not really into like fairy tale-ish books, like fairy tale shows or something anymore. I can't even remember, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. I got kids and I don't even remember. I don't remember. I don't remember what fairy tale this is kind of a retelling of, but it's about this guy named James who, when he was younger, his family ends up being killed in a plane crash, and he has to go live with his uncle who basically abused him while he was coming up just because he didn't like his dad. And James became this ruthless, heartless killer, and he basically met his the guy who killed his family daughter, and they started messing around and he started using her and all. Like, it I gave this book a 4.5, y'all. I enjoyed the crap out of this book. It makes no sense how much I was sitting there giggling, mouth wide open. Like, it's just to be able to actually see and read about how traumatized he was when he was coming. Like, that being traumatized is not a good thing, but being that, I mean, it just takes you through so many, well, it took me through so many emotions, because hearing his side of the story, like, after my parents died, like, I never really felt loved. In so many words, he never really felt loved. His uncle treated him like crap, and the things that his uncle did to him was unspeakable. So if you read this book, you understand, y'all. I enjoyed the crap out of this book. The second book I read happens to be, now this is not in order. These are not the orders I read this book in. I'm just, you know. The second book I read in DNF was Out of Office. It's about this ambitious lady who goes to, I want to say, Panama, not Florida, but went to Panama and to help renovate and set up a new hotel construction. That she meets this guy who happens to be her driver, and she takes a 2-week vacation and goes stay with him and his family at his family little retreat area. She ends up going back home. It was great, but it was boring to me. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't hold my attention. I can say it's like a soft DNF. I will pick it up and finish rereading it sometime, but it just didn't hold my attention like I thought it would. So I DNF'd it. The next one is Practice Make Perfect by Sarah Adams. Y'all, I finally read this book. This is the second book in When in Rome. It's about the guy in When in Rome's sister, Annie. Her name is Annie Walker. She's looked at this kind of like Angel Annie, and she ends up realizing that she's bad at dating, and her Amelia who happens to be her brother's new wife, she tells her bodyguard, like, hey, be her dating coach. They end up doing a dating coach thing. Bad boy, good girl. Everyone in this small town was so against them, thinking like they were dating, and they were just so against. They wrote made up a petition to keep them from dating, which was crazy. Like small town people really be in these people's business. They be in their business real bad. But I love a small town because you get to see all the citizens in the background just get a part of them in the book as well. So that's what made me love small towns, because my grandma lived in a small town, and it just reminds me of those times basically. But I gave this book a 4.5 as well. I love Annie. I love Nick, Will. Y'all, it was a great book. It's spice. Then I read My Fault, y'all. I've heard so many people ranting and raving about this trilogy, y'all. My Fault, Your Fault, Our Fault. I finally read My Fault, y'all. It's about this girl named Noah who moms moved her from Toronto to California to live with her new husband and his son. Now, Noah and Nick ends up messing around because like stepbrother, stepsister. I'm just gonna go ahead and let y'all know, stepbrother and stepsister. Although it's by marriage, I just was still like, that's your brother. Like y'all might not be blood, but that was your brother. But the book was good. I ain't gonna lie to you, it was good. It was good. I'm gonna watch the show after I finish reading the other two. Amazing book. I enjoyed the crap out of this book. It was so good, y'all. It was the way I was giggling and the way that Noah got on my nerves at some points, and how Nick was like trying to at the same time calling her his sister, like, hey little sis, but then all of a sudden like fantasizing about her in his brain. It was just kind of cringy a little bit, not gonna lie. It was kind of cringy. I ended up giving it a 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. You should give it a try if you haven't. I just told you, brother, sister, stepbrother, stepsister, by marriage, 4 stars. Enjoyed the crap out of it, not gonna lie to y'all. Then we picked up The Housemaid Is Watching by Freedom McFadden. I DNF this. I felt like this book was so repetitive, y'all. Like I felt like the way that it kept repeating the same thing, like, hey, they moved to a new house, hey, the neighbors, they don't like the neighbors, they don't trust the neighbors, like, hey, this and this, and nothing happened. I think I DNF'd it on shit, probably page 100 and something. Somebody, one of our bookish page, Brienne, she told me to, if I do, read it, I'm saying start back reading it, pick it up on chapter 40, because from there is when all the action happened. But why do it take this much of you repeating the same thing for something to happen in this part of the book? Like, I just didn't get that. So I soft DNF this. I probably will pick it back up just to dive back into it and see for sure myself if it's actually pick up. And she said basically wrap up the whole series, and the epilogue really good. Like it ends the whole series off, and I do want to know, but I could not get my brain to wrap around this book, because the way that it just kept repeating the same thing over and over and over, like it just like she just copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste in different languages. Like, you piss me off. I wasn't for it. So I soft DNF this, and that's that on that. Then we read Middle of the Night by Raleigh Sager. I end up giving this book a 4.25. It's about this boy, him and his best friend did this little camp in their backyard during the summer times every Friday night. And one night his best friend goes missing. No one knows what happened. They just come out. He just wake up and it's a slit in the side of the tent, and the boy's gone and never be seen again. So he ends up moving away to go to college, and he ends up coming back after some traumatic things happen in his life, and he's suffering with PTSD from that, and he can't sleep at night. and he's basically trying. I guess they still haven't found him, and I think after like 10 years, then they try to end up trying to solve the case and figure out what happened to the kid and why did he just disappear. Y'all, it's so good. I enjoyed it. I enjoy all Riley Sager's books, to be honest. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but that could be just because I'm just getting to thrillers. That's why I enjoy it. Because a lot of people say his writing is all right, but I really enjoy Riley Sager's books. So I gave this one a 4 stars. Now, on to the books that I read on my Kindle. I ended up reading The Last Word by Taylor Adams. I gave that book a 3 stars. It's about this girl who is basically, can you say house sitting? Yeah, she's house sitting, and she reads this book where she ends up giving it a 1 star and writing a bad review. The author threatens her in the comment section like, hey, delete this post, like delete it, delete it, delete it. She says no, and all the crazy stuff happened. You feel me? That's what happened. I gave it a 3 star. After reading that, I read Ante Up. It's the high stakes series by Christina C. Jones. Y'all, that book was so good. It's about this girl who is trying to enter into this poker tournament, and she's working at a casino where she ends up one night having a 1 night stand with this guy, not knowing it is the big boss of the casino. And when she finds out the next day, he ends up being in town, and she ends up having to work the back rooms to serve him. And he was just so rude at first. Like, she tried to actually pay her. Like, oh, I feel like he tried to embarrass her in front of the group of people that he was playing. Cause what is it? Poker with. He was playing poker with. I feel like he tried to embarrass her because he called her back over and was like, tried to stuff some money in her pocket and was like, here, thanks for last night. Like, what do you mean? Shut up. Like, you did not have to let these people know that. Like, shut up. And she ends up she ends up making him lose his poker game by, I guess, well, it was really his fault because why would you trust somebody you don't know? And he ends up firing her, but comes like she's taking care of her brother who is really bad in the streets. He does dumb stuff to get caught up and stuff. She come from, her father was abusive. Her mother kind of overlooked the abuse and kind of was like, well, it's, your dad was just, but read the book. It's so much goes into that book to the point that it's crazy, but read it. I really enjoyed it. I gave it a 4 star, y'all. It was so good. It was so good. I can't wait to read the next one in this series. I think it's called King of Hearts. So yeah. Then we read No Holds Borrowed by Stephanie Nicole Norris. One of our bookish babes recommended this book because she know I love the McLean brothers. And she was like, dive into the Valentine's brother, y'all. Listen, I no. I know this crazy to say, like the first book, I was just like, we're not gonna like this. I don't like this series. Like, I don't like it. I did not like the first brother. I feel like that book was so insty lovey, if I can say it. Like, it's like she saw him, she lived across the hallway from him. She saw, first of all, she seen 3 women leave his apartment one morning, and I guess she was like, oh, they're just so hot. It's like, for some reason, like, it was cringy to me. Like, it was so cringy. It was so cringy. It was so cringy because I was like, what? Like, how do y'all go from just meeting to damn near engaged 3 days later? It was so fast. Like, it felt just that fast to me. Like, they met. She seen him lend 3 women out his apartment one morning. She goes downstairs to the coffee shop, the breakfast place in their building. He walks past the window, sees her. They're at the table, sucking fingers within 10 minutes. Like, why you let his mouth be on your hands and he just let 3 women out this house? Like, what? Like, huh? I did not get that. And I was just like, yeah, no. So I ended up giving that a 3 stars, y'all. Now that's just that one. Like, it's I think it's like a 16 book series, y'all, but I just could not. That book cringed me out so bad. So bad. So bad. The only thing that saved it was his brother and her best friend. which brings me into their book that I read, which is a risque engagement. Y'all, I gave that one a 4 stars. I enjoyed that one. Now, his brother and her best friend, they got set up on a blind date in the first book, and she is a pilot and he is this businessman, and it basically starts off with him calling her and being late. I guess, she was stating like, hey, they text after the little blind date situation, and they was texting, they stayed in contact after that. And then like she's in Antigua, was it Antigua? And she ends up calling him, or he ended up calling her, and basically like, hey, like, you want to lay over? And she was like, yeah. And he was like, meet me halfway because I really want to see you. Yeah. Why did this man actually fly to her? Like, at that point I was like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna like this one better. So I really enjoyed this one. It's called A Risque Engagement by Stephanie Nicole Norris. That one, him, what was his name? What was Xavier? His name is Xavier Valentine, y'all. Xavier, chef kiss. After reading that, I was I don't know. How did I end up reading this series? Did someone recommend this series in my comment section? Yeah, somebody recommended this series in my comment section, and you're gonna see it in the video, y'all. Y'all are going to see it in the video. It's called Curiosity. It's the Blackwoods After Dark series. It's by Cristina C. Jones, y'all. I've been reading a lot of her books lately, but it's by her, and it's supposed to be like this urban vampire story. And the way that I took nothing in this book series, nothing. I think I read that book in like 2 hours. I took nothing in that book series. I was giggling. I was straight giggling, rolling on the floor laughing, because what are you talking about? I can't even tell you what this book was about. It was just so funny to me. It was so funny. Like, I just it was just like, but it was also funny. Like, it was such a fast read, but I just could not stop laughing at the book for some reason. Like, it cracked me up. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was laughing so hard at that book. But I didn't even tell you guys what I gave it. I gave it a 2 stars, y'all. 2.5. But every time I think about it, I giggle. And then the fact that I was immediately finna start the second book so I can laugh some more was crazy. But yeah, those are all the books I read in the month of July. Comment down below and let me know some of the books that you read, and let me know how you guys enjoyed your reading month for July. And I'll see you guys in my next video, sharing with you guys the books I may or may not read in August. So thank you guys again for watching today's video. I'll see you guys in my next.
I'm calling bullshit. Say you got it, but you ain't got nothing. Bad bitches don't say shit, they just come.